What's up YouTube? It's Deanna from Windy City Vape Reviews. Welcome to Vaping 101 Episode 2, Vaping Etiquette, aka Don't Be a Vapehole. So, I am feeling a little better. I don't have the chills and the aches as much as I did the last couple days. My throat is still pretty much killing me and my tonsils are still huge, but I am taking antibiotics, so hopefully I will be back to normal really soon because I'm so over this. Another thing, I did get my IPv5 yesterday in the mail, and I will be doing a review on it probably sometime early next week. I wanted to do this segment on vaping etiquette before I get into any kind of like really technical hardware, different types of mods, different types of coils and things like that, just because I feel strongly about this. I know there are a lot of other reviewers that have done similar videos about this, but I really feel strongly that this is something that everyone that is a vapor or is considering vaping should be aware of. There is etiquette that should be followed, just like when you were a smoker. So, number one is always get permission first. Don't just assume that if you're at a smoker's house or another vapor's house, they may not vape or smoke in their house, and you don't want to just go ahead and start vaping in their house without asking permission first, because a lot of people don't understand vaping and they believe a lot of what they're seeing in the news and online. And I have family members, cousins on Facebook that I've seen post some of these reports to other family members that are vapors, and they're absolutely not true, but they don't know because they haven't been educated, unfortunately. So again, always ask permission first. Even if you're outside, if you're at someone's house and you're at a barbecue or something, don't just assume that because you're outside that it's going to be okay. Get their permission first. Number two, don't blow vapor in anyone's faces or near someone else, even if they are another vapor. It's just, you know, it's kind of the same guidelines as when you were a smoker. I don't like it when someone's smoking and they blow vapor at me. One of my biggest pet peeves when I was a smoker was if, this was back in the day when they used to allow smoking in restaurants and things. I hated when I was out to eat and someone at our table would just light up and start smoking without asking if it was okay. That is the one thing that just drove me insane. Even as a smoker, I never enjoyed smoking while eating. It's totally great after eating, but not while I'm eating. I don't want to smell your cigarette. And there are a lot of people that feel the same way about vapor, even though a lot of us think that it smells good, or it definitely smells better than smoking. Not everybody feels the same way. So just kind of be aware of your surrounding and the people that are around you. And number three, don't force vaping on a smoker. There are different ways to quit smoking, and just because something didn't work for us doesn't mean it won't work for someone else. So don't try to be like, oh, vaping is the greatest thing that's ever happened and you should just definitely try this and nothing else. You know, let them come to their decisions on how they want to quit and when they want to quit on their own, which brings me to the next point. Don't try to lecture a smoker. You've been there, I've been there. Kind of like you don't like Jehovah's Witnesses showing up on your door and trying to push their beliefs on you. Same thing when it comes to smokers. I had a lot of family members that used to lecture me after my son was diagnosed with cancer, and I have a ton of cancer in my family. I mean, like aunts, uncles, my father died from cancer, you know, just a ton of cancer. So I was aware of the dangers of smoking and continuing to smoke, but no amount of lecturing was going to get me to quit smoking until I was absolutely ready myself. I mean, you probably have been there as well. You've probably had other people tell you how bad it is for you. We know this. So yeah, just try to, I know it's hard. I know they're your loved ones and you want to try to help save their lives. But again, until they are absolutely ready to come to that decision themselves, no amount of lecturing is going to change that. Sorry, I need to take a drink. Okay. Do offer information to anyone that asks for it. If you are out in public and you are vaping and someone comes up and they're kind of curious as to what it is and what you're doing, and trust me, I've had a lot of people. I had my e-leaf iStick 100 watt with me at work one day, and I was outside, and one of the guys was out there. He's not a smoker, not a vapor, and he was like, "Is that a flask?" I was like, "Yeah, I wish." But you know, some people, they don't even know what it is, and they have no idea what you're doing. Some of them will kind of look at you and be like, "Okay, I'm staying away from that person." But there are a lot that will come up and be like, "What is that?" So give them any information that you have, and if they're asking questions that you don't know because either you're a new vapor or it's just something you haven't yourself found out yet, point them in the direction of someone that can answer questions like that. There are a ton of reviewers that have been part of the vaping community since vaping first got started. I'm not saying like send them to my channel, whatever. Send them to someone that could definitely answer their questions. There are a ton of vaping sites such as CASA.org and the Vaping Militia and NotBlowingSmoke.org. There are a ton of Facebook groups, all kinds of information out there for people that are interested in learning about vaping. So again, give them the information you can, and if there's things that you can't answer, point them in the direction where they can find the information, just kind of like you did yourself. And then number 6, you're not at a cloud comp. Even if you're outside and you're in an area where vaping is allowed, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should just be blowing all kinds of clouds all over the place. I do have some pretty powerful devices. I have now 2 200 watt devices. I do have some RDAs with pretty low builds on them. You know, you just don't want to be walking around like this. No need for that. When I'm at work or I know I'm going somewhere, like I said, we go to a lot of car shows. When I'm at places like that, I normally take a smaller mod with me. I will take a tank that has like a, you know, even a 0.5 build on it with a little bit more restricted airflow, so I'm not blowing just tons and tons of clouds of vapor around everyone so that I'm drawing attention to myself. Maybe it's just me. I just feel like that in public you don't really need to kind of go all out there with your vaping. So again, when you're at home or you're with other vapors or you're at a vape shop where, you know, they're all sitting around, you walk in and you can't even see anything because it's just so cloudy, that's perfectly acceptable. But when you're in an area where, you know, especially if there's going to be a place where there's children and things like that, we don't, just like smoking, you don't want them to think that that's a cool thing to do. You don't want children to look at you and be like, "Oh wow, that's pretty awesome," because this isn't something that we're doing just because it's cool, you know, or because it just tastes fantastic, which it does. But you don't want a non-smoker to want to pick up vaping because they want to blow big giant clouds. You know, I mean, this is a way to quit smoking, just as there's nicotine gum and patches and prescriptions. Everyone is different. Everyone's going to choose their own way to do it. Some ways are a little more discreet than others. So again, totally aware of your surroundings. And then number 7, and this is my final one, no self-vaping in places where it's not allowed. If you work in a building where smoking and vaping is not allowed, either inside or outside on the premises, don't try to go in the bathroom and sneak a quick vape, even if it's just a little ego style where hardly any vapor comes out. You don't want to be caught, for one, because you could get into trouble. But for 2, we want to show people that we are responsible vapors, that we don't just feel entitled to do what we want, where we want, when we want. I know it's hard sometimes when you're at work and, you know, maybe you're a little stressed and you're kind of jonesing for your nicotine fix. Still not acceptable. They're with the FDA trying to ban so many of these items and so many of the e-liquids. You know, we don't want to give the impression that we just don't care about anyone but ourselves. And if you are not aware of the issues with all of the vaping bans, not just here in the United States, but in Europe as well, and other countries as well, get educated. Join CASA.org, join the Vaping Militia, join NotBlowingSmoke.org. Again, search on Facebook for groups, Twitter, Instagram. There are so many different places where you can get information to find out how you can do your part to help save vaping, and also show that we as a vaping community are responsible vapors. And as I told you not to lecture a smoker, now I'm lecturing you. But it's for a good reason. You're already vaping, or you're already considering it. I'm not trying to push it on you. What I'm trying to do is just kind of put it out there that, try to be conscious of the people and the surroundings, and just, show some responsibility and maturity, I guess. Again, I probably sound like I'm up on my soapbox, and that's not at all what I'm trying to do. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. That's about all I have for today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more upcoming vaping news and reviews. Until next time, I hope you have a great day, and keep calm and vape on.